Hello ladies and gentlemen, IcyCaress here and welcome back to Colony Survival. This is a short PSA for all you guys because I know this has been my most popular series in a long time. But unfortunately, during the course of playing this game, well basically I was spending all night last night digging a giant hole. I mean a massive hole for our dwarven kingdom. Now unfortunately, whilst I was doing that, I decided to quit the game, went and got a snack, came back in because quitting the game saves it, and then tried to load up the world again. However, as you can see on the screen here, well, I was distracted. I was eating my Smarties, as you do when you have a snack, and I accidentally clicked delete. Now, that wouldn't be an issue if there was a, "Are you sure you want to delete this?" button. There wasn't. I had a heart attack, and I went and searched everywhere, and I've been searching all night. It's currently 5 AM, to see if I could somehow restore my save, and unfortunately there isn't one. Now I did have a copy of it, but somehow the data on that has been overwritten with this world that you see here. There's nothing left of that old colony. No, absolutely nothing. And I'm gutted. It is so unbelievably upsetting just to see all of that work just gone in a blink of an eye. So developer, if you ever see this video, please add in a button that says, "Are you sure you want to delete this save?" Because it was an accidental misclick completely and utterly. My brain was switched off because it was so late, and then now I've lost probably in the region of about 20 hours worth of work in a blink of an eye. It was beyond it's heartbreaking. It really is. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, "It's just a game, Icy. God, chill. You know, fucking, it doesn't matter." It's more than just a game to me. It was a creation I was loving and I was building, and it was becoming something awesome. I had over 100,000 food saved up. I had 600 colonists working. I was about to get 400 more to work in the mines as dwarves, and then I was going to build a freaking Black Gate style thing for the orcs that everyone was requesting. But it's all gone. And I'm yeah, I'm very tired and I'm incredibly upset about it. However, having looked for all these files, and I tried everything, I tried data recovery, somehow the way that the developer has these files deleted, it doesn't even leave a trace of them on your hard drive. I tried 2 different data recovery software, I checked my backups, there was no trace of those files having ever existed. But in my search for all of these, I did learn some very interesting things about the game files and stuff in the game that could potentially allow me to rapidly build the next colony. So it's up to you guys. Do you want me to start from scratch, start recording, do some challenge videos, do something interesting like that? Or would you much rather I use these sneaky little things that I found in the game files? Which I am more than willing to do that because I think it's perfectly fair. But I wanted to pose the question to you guys. I can do that, and I can get us up to a somewhat similar place to the other colony in the space of about 24 hours. It's entirely up to you guys. I'm leaving it up to you. And if you want me to show you what you can do in the game files, just wait until the end of this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, here's what you can do with the game files. Enjoy! Welcome to my desktop, specifically my Steam profile page, which is where you're going to want to start if you want to find out how to edit these files. Now, the files in question I'm talking about here, these are very important files. If you go to browse local files, you pull up this screen, okay? And what this does is this lets you change every single facet of the entire game, basically at your will and whim. So if we now go to game data, you can see all of these things here. Now, if you go into settings and go into client settings, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. For example, build distance. Now, the default build distance is actually 6 in this game, okay? But if you're planning on building something big or planning on digging a huge hole, increase that to whatever you want, 40. There's also gravity, there's jump power. I'm very tempted to do a challenge relating to this. So there is length eyes to top, length feet to eyes, length feet to ground. You can change all of this. You can make yourself a dwarf if you want to, which is going to be probably the first challenge that I do, which is why I'm revealing this to you guys right now. So there's all this information here, yeah? And then you go to server, edit that, and you can see everything here whether or not you want stuff to grow randomly, updating time, growth time, terrain settings, water settings, everything you want, and zombie settings. You can change the walking speed, you can change everything to do with zombies. You can make this game incredibly difficult if you wanted to, or you can make it incredibly easy if you wanted to, but that's not where it ends, ladies and gentlemen. What you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to go back to game data and go to types, okay? And in this types folder, you can do whatever you want to everything. For example, grass temperate. You can change grass to drop wheat seeds a lot more. You can make it drop 10 million wheat seeds if you want to. That's amazing. And you can do this for every single block here. Every single block that has different things that you want to do, you can do. For example, it needs base, you know, you can change how many banners you can have, you can change the clay, you can change the leaf types, you can change torch lightness. You can change all of this in this data file right here, okay? The customization is endless, but that is still not where it ends. If you go to structures and you go to trees, you can see the different kind of trees that can spawn. All right, these are all JSON files. Now, if you open these, you can see exactly how these are going to spawn and in what way. Now, theoretically, looking at this, all right, if I wanted to, I could make whatever I wanted spawn in place of those trees. For example, little houses, huts, stuff like that. Something to bear in mind, something I might do. And if you guys really want me to, I will create a custom challenge for this game. I will edit all of these files, I will package it all up and send it out there for you guys to download and try out with me whilst I'm playing through it. But it still doesn't end there. Going back into settings, into initial settings under normal.json, you can change how much your initial inventory contains in your initial stockpile for that rapid, really fast get up and go. Let's get this challenge done. And there is still more. If you look through all of this data, all of these settings, there are so many. You know, there's different meshes. There's the save games where there's Chilltopia where I tried to restore it, but it failed. It didn't work, unfortunately. And then you've got screenshots, you've got your settings, you got your structures and your textures. But there's another thing that's very interesting about this that I found recently that I'm looking for it right now. And here it is. Now under types.json, and this is the most important thing. You see this destruction time? It is normally 600. Okay? What you can do as a player is you can change how fast it is to mine stone. You can also change how fast it is to mine if you search up inf. So how fast it is to mine gold. How fast it is to mine clay, iron, gypsum, coal, everything. You could change how fast it is to mine it, the maximum stack sizes, all of that. You can change that to your heart's content. So I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that in my sorrowful loss and pain and struggling, we have found a light. And that light is the ability to create a custom challenge so awesome that nobody's ever seen it before. I'm going to make it. Leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. I am going to play around with these a little bit on my own, but I'm especially going to be playing around with these these settings here. I want to see if I can make myself a dwarf, and if I can, I want to make a challenge built around that. But we'll see what happens at the beginning of the next episode. Leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. Would you much rather I rebuilt the entirety of the previous colony, which took me 4 days to do last time? Or would you much rather I started with a new series? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry about this. It is far too easy to just click that quit button, and it was heartbreaking for me when I first did. I was like, no, and I searched everywhere for it and I just could not find it. So I'm sorry. Catch you guys in the next video of whatever I make. Bye bye.